Alright, I have been putting off recording this video for way too long, but at last I have gotten around to it. So this is my trailer analysis and reaction for the Sekiro Shadows Die Twice trailer that showed at Tokyo Game Show. It has a few new interesting things for us, so let's check it out. By the way, there is going to be some Japanese dialogue in this trailer. I do not have a translation for you. However, the video that Vati Vidya made on this trailer does have translations, so if you're interested, you should definitely check that out. It's really interesting. Sorry. So we have this burning monastery. Castle, I don't know, but we've seen it a couple times in other material, and it seems that it's going to be a rather important set piece. Here's our shinobi. He has clearly been slain. Oh boy. There's some of the stealth section. So that was something interesting. He was jumping off walls. So I'm not sure if that's going to be an unlockable ability or something that just wasn't shown in the gameplay demo because it there wasn't any geometry in the set that allowed for wall jumping like that, but that's really exciting. Super Mario fans, I hope you're ready. Got some monks in a forest monastery, I guess that. Oh my gosh! All right, so we have not seen this particular enemy before, but he is going really fast. And he looks like he's either a mini boss or a full boss. Just look at how fast he's going and how fast the player character is blocking. That just like, oh my gosh, that's crazy stupid. Also, what was shown in just a few frames prior is that the false wall mechanic is coming back from Software's previous games. Thankfully, or rather hopefully, it's not the same mechanic as it is in Dark Souls 2, where you have to use a consumable item to unlock the illusory wall. That's really stupid, but in these ones they're kind of turning walls, like the kind you see in a couple of stages in Neo, and honestly I think it fits a lot better with the Japanese aesthetic, but let's move on. So here's a new female character, which we have yet to meet, but she seems to be important. So this is, let's see if I can go back to it. This is the weapon, the second katana on the shinobi's back, which has been seen in pretty much all of his character art. So, borrowing a little tidbit of information from Vati's channel. Sorry, Vati, I love you. Anyway, but one of the interesting things about this sword is that it's supposedly called the Undead Slayer. So, it's possible that it will be an item that is unlocked through skill trees, or maybe through upgrading your character, or maybe it will be a I guess a super weapon that you can kind of charge up through fighting and that sort of thing, similar, I suppose, to the spirit weapons in Neo. I don't know yet, but apparently this sword is going to be important.
確かにもらい受けた
Alright, so let's move back a couple frames here. To right, I think it's right here. Alright, so it's kind of hard to see, but what he's wielding is a pike-like object that extends from the shinobi prosthetic. That's not an alternate weapon he's using. And funny enough, I originally thought it was an alternate weapon. I was like, oh my gosh, we get more weapons! But no, it's just a shinobi prosthetic weapon. But it appears that it hooks in an enemy and then brings him forward, and you can see it right here that it's swinging back into the prosthetic arm, but it pulls him forward into a for lack of a better term, a visceral state, or something. But so that excites me because it means that or rather implies there are going to be a whole freaking lot of shinobi prosthetic weapons, which is pretty exciting, because from all the people have, all of the developers have said, it sounds like each shinobi prosthetic is not necessarily better than any other one. It's just that they kind of represent different play styles, similarly to Bloodborne's trick weapons. So that really excites me. I honestly hope that shinobi prosthetics are not acquired via an upgrade system. I really hope that they are acquired in-world, or that you do something like find a material that allows you to build one, and then you return to the hub to have the prosthetic built. But I really hope that they're acquired through gameplay and not through an upgrade tree. That's just me though, because I love exploring. I love exploring and finding secrets. Anyway, so this is another ability that we have not seen before, and it apparently, rather than bleeding, these enemies will explode into smoke, ? So that's interesting. It seems like that might be an unlockable ability, but let's move on. That's another one of the... Alright, so this is really interesting. So before I go into my thoughts on this, what we saw in the previous shot was the shinobi kind of flipping around and jumping off of the enemy, which we've seen that's a thing that you can do. We've seen that in the gameplay demo, but it looks like from that one shot that might be a full mechanic in the game, a full play style that you can use, which is really exciting. So this right here, you can see they're in a burning building, presumably the burning, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call it a monastery, the burning monastery, and this enemy appears to be an old woman, I suppose, and it looks like she's walking on spider's threads, which leads me to believe that the boss fights. Well, we've already seen this with the corrupted monk boss fight, but that the boss fights are not going to take place on a single on a single datum plane. You know, it's not just going to be a floor like it is in, you know, Dark Souls and Bloodborne and other Souls-like games. You like, it looks like there are going to be situations where it is, you know, a duel with swords, or in this case it looks like she's holding knives, only you and the boss are like jumping from rafters and tree branches, and in this case spiders threads. So that looks really freaking cool. Also, the shot is just really. Is it just me, or are agile bosses a lot more intimidating than big bosses? Like, that's just, I feel like the bosses in this game are going to be a whole lot scarier, you know? So that's a shot of that boss fight, and, you know, it is clear she is much more agile. This is a shot of the corrupted monk boss fight, which content creators were not originally allowed to show once, you know, when the gameplay demo was released. But now the of course the the embargo on this particular piece of content has been lifted. I've watched someone attempt to fight this boss, and let me say that it looks incredibly difficult. It honestly looks more difficult than most bosses I have fought in previous Souls titles. Kind of almost something akin to Dancer of the Boreal Valley, in that its movement is very fluid, but maybe not particularly predictable. And as you see here, it has a I guess a phase where it summons in a fog bank and attacks you from the shadows, somewhat reminiscent of the shit, I'm losing the name right now. Somewhat reminiscent of the Murgo's Wet Nurse fight, only it appears that this boss is actually worth a damn as far as difficulty goes. Good to know we can this shit right here. This shit right there. Right here. Okay. It's already been confirmed that there is at least one giant snake. Now there is a giant albino ape monster, and I am simultaneously excited and terrified to have to fight these enemies in the wild, in the game, that is. I mean, like, hot damn, they look terrifying, like unlike anything we've seen from Software before. You know, you got a little bit of, you know, kind of like cat and mouse mechanics in, you know, when you're like fighting giants in, I think the only one where you actually have to like fight giants, at least of this scale, is Dark Souls 3. The Cathedral of the Deep comes to mind, but those guys are freaking slow and they're stupid. And these monsters, not only are they incredibly fast, but they are smart and strong and extremely mobile. So, final thoughts. I am super excited I'm also kind of terrified because this game looks like it is going to be difficult on a whole new level, which on the one hand I can't wait for, and on the other hand, I hope it's not obtuse and just kind of difficult to get into, you know. But you know, given the gameplay I've seen, it looks like it'll be just fine. I guess final impressions. The bosses look incredible. The combat mechanics and exploration mechanics, from everything that I've seen, they look pretty fleshed out and incredibly versatile. And the combat mechanics, at least, look diverse enough that you can kind of pick and choose how you play. And have the fact that you can only wield a katana and you can only play as a particular character, have that not really hinder you as far as gameplay choice goes. So that's good. And then here's the release date. That's always good. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Are you excited for Sekiro? Are you not? Yeah, that's it.